Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to Allotment of the Dead. So I've come down on again another really rainy day, which you're going to get a lot of at this time of year. It's very difficult to not basically, I guess, get a situation whereby everything's going to be completely dry and dry enough for you to do anything kind of substantial. But I'm lucky in the fact that I have some of these buildings I've made for myself, which gives me a little bit of, I wouldn't say dry because there's a few leaks here and there, but it gives me a few areas where I can actually continue to do some bits and pieces and grow some things over that winter period. So kind of the old stuff is coming out now. I've already taken the aubergines out of here, and I'll be planting some kale, hopefully all over the inside of this. So hopefully we can have some of that kale over that winter period. But yeah, absolutely love it. So we'll see how it goes. Right, let's just show you kind of as to what's going on in here at the moment. It's a bit of a knackered nightmare, really. Okay, the kiwi berry, I think I'm going to have to cut it back a little bit. Although hopefully it won't need to be cut back too much. There's lots of nice decent growth on here. The self-seeded cinnamon vine has done what it should do. I think hopefully there won't be a massive big yam underneath the ground that I'm going to need to bulldoze to get out. But I've got all of these little air potatoes. So these are the seed pods of the cinnamon vine. Oh, that come off really easily. Oh, that's probably not a good thing. I'm probably going to have a few of these kicking around all over the floor. This plant likes to self-seed itself, so yeah, we're going to have to be careful with that. The chard that I planted, it's not doing as good as some of the other bits and pieces I've planted. Some of the outside stuff seems to be doing really, really well. The spring onions are okay, and that is looking the best I've seen it in quite a while. They do say wasabi likes the colder air, and I suppose being in a building is probably not the best thing for it. But I wanted it to kind of stay sheltered, but still get water. And I think because I think you can see there, I've got drips all over the place. So I've got a bit of a leak. You can see it going there now. I've got a bit of a leak in the skin here, which is feeding this area. So in the wild, this particular plant actually grows on the side of rivers and things. So it actually gets almost like a running water constantly, but it's looking absolutely fantastic. You can see how wet it is. That moss is still growing really, really well. My Chinese cabbage, it's doing well in here. I am so pleased. I can't normally grow Chinese cabbages very well, but yeah, it's looking great. Right, the mesembryanum I might leave because again, this is quite a weird plant, quite a nice tasting plant though. So unless the frost kills it, which it might, although we've gone down to 0 and just below 0 in here, and it survived okay. Again, these absolutely gorgeous little leaves that look like they're covered in almost like an icy kind of crystals. And again, it's something you can eat, and it's got kind of a nice salty, fresh taste to it. Also called the ice plant if you want to grow this for yourself. I thought I'd lost quite a bit of this because a lot of it, where it got really wet, it went quite soggy. But it's not looking too bad at all now. The Brads Atomic is looking absolutely knackered. So this is coming out today, and I'll be planting kale where that is. And then also these hanging baskets that I planted melons in here didn't do very well at all. But hopefully it's an idea for next year as well. So we'll hopefully try and start everything a bit earlier next year in terms of the squashes and and melons and things like that. So hopefully we can get things to have a little bit of longer season and be able to do something with them. And it looks like I've got a really old cucumber at the back there. It'll probably do for seed, but not much else. Right, you can hear that wind going. Right, so what I'm planning on doing today is clearing this space and basically harvesting what I can. If there is anything that I can, hopefully there will be. Some of these tomatoes will be okay. Like I said, I've had a rubbish season for tomatoes this year. That kind of weird loads of rain and barely any sun has not really helped any of this. But I've got light kicking in here as well, so now's the time. Just get rid, and then we'll basically use this area and plant some hopefully decent stuff. Right. Okay, so that is the area that formerly had my Brads Atomic Grape tomatoes in, nicely cleared. I'll get rid of a few of the other kind of bits and pieces of leaves and things in there, and we'll see how that goes. So, right, so yeah, I've given myself another growing space for over the winter period. I know a lot of people at this point in time, they don't put much in the ground at all. They don't grow anything over that winter period. For me, even though the light kind of levels aren't great, a lot of the things that would potentially grow well, things like lettuces, mustards, those sort of things, are really good to plant over that winter period. So yeah, why waste a growing space if you can help it? Yeah, I know a lot of people kind of just like getting it ready for that next year, so they can get all their normal produce in for the kind of straight away the next year. But I try and keep the space covered. I mean, when you first saw I've still got the Chinese cabbage and stuff growing in here. I'll be trying to grow a few more of those and mustards and things like that as well, just to again try and utilize this space quite a bit more. So this I called the aubergine house right from the start, and it was basically because I generally utilize this space for growing almost extensively aubergines. Now it's kind of changed over a period of time, where I've got some of the perennials in here, like the kiwi berry, kiwi fruit, and now the wasabi, in the it's not really a designated space anymore. So what I'm going to do is maybe designate it something different every single year, and see if we can actually get, I don't know, different things going. That being said, my love of chilies will probably not be lost on this area either. So I noticed this year I made that schoolboy error not really an error as such, as I kind of just forgot really of planting any jalapenos. And it's, as a chili, it's quite a remarkable kind of fruit that you can use, in that it's quite a mild chili. It's got a little bit of heat, and you can use it for so many different things. The cowboy candy I made with vampire chilies, I tasted it yesterday, very, very good. But I still keep thinking maybe it would have been better with jalapenos. So we'll give that a go next year. But I'm going to basically designate this area next year as the jalapeno house. So I'm going to try and plant. I've got about maybe 10 to 12 varieties of jalapeno for next year. So I'm going to put all of those in this particular growing space. I'm probably going to grow one aubergine plant, maybe a couple of plants of one type. I'm going to grow aswad this year, which is quite a large, it's supposed to get as big as your head. So I'm just going to try and see if I can grow a really big aubergine. So that's what's going to go in here as well, but I'll probably put that in a pot. So everything else hopefully will be planted straight in the ground in here, and it's going to be mostly jalapenos. So yeah, something for me to look forward to. I don't know how much you guys like seeing me growing chilies and things, but I generally have got a bit of an addiction. Right, so that's again, this growing space is clear now for me to be able to plant kale and things in here over that winter period. So that's what I'll be doing. So we'll see you on the next video. So all the best, guys. Take care. Bye bye.